Hey everyone, so welcome to the Banh Chronicles podcast. My name is Randy Kim. I'm a little tired over the weekend because Madonna's Confessions 2 album has come out and I have been just in euphoria since then. And what a way to not celebrate America 250. And I want to welcome uh, a recurring guest and one of my favorites, Tranna Wintour. And she is a trans comedian, internet personality based in Montreal, Canada. And we were talking back in May about Madonna's surprise appearance at Coachella with Sabrina Carpenter, and I know at that time you were feeling very skeptical. I was actually cautiously optimistic with this one about this
hmm
Confessions 2 record leading up to. I'm like, okay, the rollout seems to be on par. Um, the fact that she's working with Stuart Price was very promising, that she's sticking to basically one producer, I think with maybe a little contribution from More Wise. But it is kind of like it is really weird to see how, as a now 43-year-old, has been transported back to a 22-year-old. Like this
Mm.
excitement that I forgot what it was like to be this Madonna fan and
Yeah.
anticipating every release. And I think that there's something so cathartic about what that means. And I think it's very interesting that she named the Confessions too, because I think when I listened to the Pop Pantheon podcast, DJ Louis was just talking about how it's not something you really want to name after like one of your best out was one of
Yeah.
your best albums. And there's always something about the comparisons, like, okay, are you able to live up to that kind of standard? And I honestly have to think, and maybe it's still I'm writing the momentum here, but I think it's one of her best albums. I think it's actually better than Confessions on the dance floor. If I have to be very honest with you, the more I
I
listen
think
to
so
it,
too.
yeah. I mean, Confessions on a Dance Floor had some songs that I didn't really care for. Like, I'm not a fan of Isaac. I felt like that song was just over my head. I wasn't. Push was a little weird for me. Um, but I know that
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've always, well, not always, because I think when it first came out, I was really obsessed with it. But I think over
Mm-hmm.
time, the first Confessions for me has not like aged the best. Like,
Hmm.
I think the singles are incredible. Like, those are
Hmm.
among some of her best tracks ever. And I would put Future Lovers and Forbidden Love up there as well.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
think the rest of the album is like, it's solid, it's fine, but
Hmm.
it's not like mind blowing, you know? So I would say like the Confessions one is like, half of it is really incredible,
Hmm.
and the other half is like solid.
Yeah, and I think it kind
Whereas this
of.
album, I feel like, with the exception of maybe Read My Lips, from beginning to end, this is incredible.
Mm.
And I would also say that it's one of her best ever. And it's funny because I have a friend who texted me the morning of the release day because he had listened to one of the leaks. But I was waiting to like have the album in my hands. But
Hmm.
I don't always agree with his musical taste at all. And he texted me in the morning and he was like, this is one of her best. Like it's up there with Ray of Light and Bedtime
Hmm.
Stories and Erotica. And when I read that, I rolled my eyes because even the day of release, like I could not allow myself to believe that that could even possibly be true.
Yeah.
But it really is true. And I
Hmm.
am, like you said earlier, like, it does remind me of that time. Like, I mean, I was a kid when Ray of Light came out, and that was the
Hmm.
first album that I got to experience as it was released.
Hmm.
Because I became a fan with Evita when I was like 10 years old. So Ray of
Hmm.
Light was like the
Hmm.
first time I got to participate in a release. And I
Same.
remember here in
Yeah.
Canada, it was so massive, like Much Music, our MTV,
Hmm.
like had like a whole Madonna Rama weekend where like the whole weekend it was just Madonna music videos. And then she did a live at Much Music interview, which is on YouTube. It's really a great, fun
Hmm.
interview. And it reminds me of that excitement that you were talking about. I even went to a record store here that was having like a midnight release party. So we were able to like buy the record at midnight on the Thursday night. And everyone in the store, so they played the album in the store and everyone was dancing and interacting. And it felt like old times and it felt so
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, because I think I forgot what it means to be this Madonna fan in anticipation of release date because I think I was trying to be excited about Hard Candy at the time because I'm like, okay, she's working with Timberlake and Timbaland. Obviously, that didn't age well since then, but like,
Mhm.
I think that at that time I was like, well, everyone was like really into that bandwagon and Pharrell, so it's like.
Yeah.
But listening to it, I was like, God, I just felt like she was just allowing them to take control and just
And
riding
I
the
remember
waves.
with
Yeah.
that album, like there were a few songs that leaked, and like I think even the cover art leaked. And I
Hmm.
remember listening to some of those leaks and just being like very underwhelmed.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I think Confessions 1 was the last time that I was like really, really excited about a Madonna release. Like I
Well,
still
yeah.
remember the day that I bought Confessions 1. Like I
Same,
remember
same.
I was going to school downtown and I went to the big HMV mega store that we used to have and I
Yeah.
got the album and I literally skipped my classes that day and I went home and I listened to it and I up on the train and I was looking at the booklet pictures.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And this again I feel that same excitement and it really does feel so good. Like it even made me emotional listening to the album and the excitement that I felt like it did make me feel like a kid again in a way, and that
Hmm.
felt very moving.
Yeah, I remember the day that Confessions on a Dance Floor came out, and I was working at Coconuts, aka FYE, which, back then they were selling records. And so I had gone on my off day. I think when it opened, like my manager was just opening the door, and I was like literally just waiting for her because I was ready to go take the train to my university. And I grabbed that album, popped into my CD player,
Mm.
and listened to it on the way to school on the train, and I was like, God, that this is such a music ear candy. And I think some guy in the train was asking me, like, "Oh, who are you listening to?" I'm like, listening to the new Madonna album. And of course, he was perplexed, but I was like, "Well, I don't care what y'all think about her." So yeah, I do remember that, and I think the thing that really made me sad about Hard Candy and the subsequent albums that came out of it is like I don't think she had really anything to say, any real message. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, MDNA, she didn't really have anything to talk about. I mean, yeah, she had the divorce with Guy Ritchie, but it didn't seem like that was the center stage. Rebel Heart was a very confusing rollout, very, very messy rollout. And then
Yeah.
Madame X, she did try to go in that direction, but it just felt very inauthentic. And I know that I do read, Madonna fans are like, well, that's not the best album since Confessions, the best album since Madame X. And I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat. But the
Yeah,
majority,
whatever floats
yeah,
your boat for
yes.
sure. But I like with Madam X, like I appreciate that there was at least an attempt at some sort of like real creativity that I think
Hmm.
was missing on Rebel Heart and MDNA and Hard Candy. And I can appreciate like the strangeness of Madam X. And there are some songs on Madam X that I really, really do like. But
Hmm.
I do feel like overall it was a hot mess, you know? Like
Yes.
even the whole
Hmm.
concept, like
Hmm.
Madam X is an equestrian, Madam X is a spy, Madam X
Yeah.
is God knows what. Like it was kind of
Yeah.
dumb. You
It,
know,
it
like
it
I'm sorry.
was
Like
it was silly.
it was silly because there was no substance behind it. You
Yeah.
know, it was
Yeah.
just so gimmicky, but it was also very hollow and empty. Like it didn't
Yeah.
mean anything. And
Yeah.
it's like Madonna was always a shapeshifter, but it was always done really organically. And the Madam X personas just felt so forced and they weren't thought through. They weren't fully
Hmm.
realized.
Hmm.
It's not like she was really channeling these different characters. And the
Yeah.
vocals on Madam X are awful,
The
you know?
grills. Yeah. She was putting those
Yeah.
grills on. It's like, God, it was hard to listen
And
to. Yeah.
yeah. And honestly, I think like you know, from Hard Candy through to Madam X, obviously there are some exceptions,
Hmm.
but I think overall, those albums were just missing her heart, you
Hmm.
know? Like
Yes.
when I listen to Lower East Side Girl, like I can
Hmm.
hear her
Hmm.
heart, like I can hear her bearing her soul, which was
Yes.
always the case,
Hmm.
you know? Like I know that people always think that she's not such a great vocalist or singer, but I really disagree because she has such a rich emotionality in her voice. And that's what's been missing. And it
Hmm.
felt so good to hear that. And I think we hear it throughout the album. Like, you know, even on the songs that are really about the dance floor, I there's heart in these songs, and that's
Hmm.
what makes them feel so alive.
Yeah. And when I think about that particular Confessions too, it's like that was something that was missing out of this whole element, the vulnerability, this
Yes.
I can't even talk today, it's so early in the morning, but but her own journey, and that was something that was missing the last couple of albums,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and MDNA was, was very messy. Like she had too many cooks in the kitchen for that one too. Like
Yeah,
having William Orbit for this one, I mean, there's some ballads that I thought really struck out for me, but then the EDM with Martin Solveig and I think Avicii came in like for Rebel Heart. I think, yeah, for Rebel Heart.
yeah.
I mean, it was
It
just
was a
so
mess.
it was just not
Also,
congruent. Yeah,
MDNA was just it was a very cold album, you
yeah,
know? So even on songs like I Fucked Up or Best
yes,
Friend, which I think the lyrics
ugh,
are really personal, like almost to
yeah,
the point where like I feel almost like uncomfortable because they're so personal.
hmm.
But the production is so cold
I don't give
that
a
you don't
fuck.
feel
With
the
Nicki. Ugh,
emotion of those
yeah.
lyrics. Like there's no emotion being conveyed. But I will say I went to a Madonna party on
Hmm.
Saturday night, oh no, Friday night,
Hmm.
and they played Girl Gone Wild, and I have to admit, it slapped.
It could be a good
It's
song. I
just
mean,
fun. It's fun, you
it's a
know? Like
decent song. Yeah.
I forgot that it was like parts of it are fun. And again, this is the thing, like with all the Hard Candy to Madam X albums, like there are some good songs
Hmm.
along the way. It's just that Madonna is re as much as like she's been such a successful singles artist, like she's
Hmm.
the most successful Billboard Hot 100
Hmm.
solo artist of all time. But she's also an albums artist. Like
Hmm.
each album from 83 to 2005 was
That's.
so solid, and each album was its own universe.
Hmm.
She's a really strong albums artist. And
Hmm.
that's why these last 20 years have felt so strange. You know, like how
Yeah.
did this artist who was just so good at making albums go 20 years without making a good album. Like that's insane to me. But
Hmm.
thank God she's back.
Yeah, and I think where was I in Confessions 2 release? So I was at a queer house party, and I was, making out with this guy for a while. And I said I have to go at 11 p.m., which is like that release time. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
have to leave. I don't care. Well, I stayed till like 11:30. So I'm like, he got me to somehow extend that a little bit. But coming back on the drive, I was like, wow, this is exactly. I don't think I felt this way about an album in general since the Beyonce Renaissance album, so where
Right.
I felt like this is the kind of album that really um feels transformative.
Yeah,
And
and it's
yeah.
really an album.
Hmm.
Like you have to take the time to sit down with your headphones or put the vinyl on, but you have to take the time, put your
You
phone
do.
away, sit down in the dark, and listen to this album from beginning to end. Like there
Yes.
is genuinely a narrative happening here. There is a
Hmm.
flow. Everything is
Hmm.
so intentional. There is a story being told. It very much in that way to me feels like an extension of the Celebration tour, which was
Hmm.
so also autobiographical
Hmm.
and it felt like the Celebration tour was kind of like a synthesis of everything that she is and everything that she's done. And this album feels that way too. Like it
Hmm.
feels like the summation of everything that she is as an artist. Like we're covering every zone here. You know, we're covering the love of the dance floor, the power of the dance floor, but then we're also covering like her emotional life and her interior life
Hmm.
and that vulnerability that you were describing, like
Hmm.
the song about her brother, the song with
Hmm.
Lola, LES Girl, like these are some of her most emotional, vulnerable songs of her entire career.
I wholeheartedly
And you know
agree.
what?
Yeah.
This is something
Hmm.
that I felt on the Celebration tour, and I
Hmm.
had seen
Hmm.
every tour since Reinvention, with the exception of Madam X. I didn't make it to that one. So I've
Hmm.
seen her live many, many times.
Hmm.
And I mean, obviously she's one of the greatest live performers.
Hmm.
But, you know, if you look at the Reinvention tour, Confessions, even
Hmm.
Sticky and Sweet, like
Hmm.
there's such a precision in these shows and there's such juggernaut shows that they can almost feel like they're not necessarily, even though they can provoke emotions, like she's not really emotional on
Hmm.
stage, and
Hmm.
she's not necessarily warm. But on the celebration tour, I really felt this joy and warmth from her that I've never felt before. And I'm sure that that came from her near-death experience. I
Hmm.
feel like that opened her up emotionally in a way that she hasn't been in a really long time. And I
Hmm.
really felt this warmth and joy from her on the celebration tour. And I think that has carried over here. Like I feel her joy and I feel her warmth. Like she's
Yeah.
actually giving us a part of herself on this album.
I also think that's because she was working on this biopic, which didn't work out with Universe. So I think she was so immersed into this whole project that I did think that it was bringing up a lot of like certain memories, evoking
Yes.
certain things. And I also think that she probably was thinking about working on a soundtrack perhaps for that biopic too in mind. And so
Right.
I think a lot of it did transfer and it's like, you know what, I might as well just make an album. And it's a 20-year anniversary of Confessions on a Dance Floor. I feel like working with Stuart Price. I know William Orbit was kind of like mocking the idea of her working with Stewart. And I'm like, well, I mean, he had his chance with MDNA, and how did that turn out? Not so well.
But I feel
But
like
yeah.
it's because she didn't give him enough time.
No.
Like Willie, I was re-listening to oh no, I was listening to the Band-splaining podcast. They recently just
Mm,
did a big series on Madonna that's really, really fun. And they had read this excerpt from an interview that she had done when Ray of Light came out, and
mhm,
Madonna was talking about how like making Ray of Light took longer than usual for her because she usually works
mhm,
very fast, but
mhm,
William Orbit works much more slowly, and he really
mhm,
takes his time, and he's very painstaking in his process.
mhm,
So I feel like with MDNA, I feel like that whole album is so rushed. Like I think it
mhm.
kind of fell short, like the William Orbit tracks, because she didn't give him enough time to do what he could really do, you know?
Right, right. And I felt that way with Avicii. I think that, the Rebel Heart thing rollout was so messy that when it got leaked out, it's like, yeah, because
Yeah.
I actually like the original demos that she was supposed to
Yeah,
release,
there's some really great
Yeah,
stuff. Like
yeah.
There is Rebel Heart, I think is maybe the closest of those
Mhm,
four albums that we keep talking about that
mhm,
um I think is the closest to being a really good Madonna album. Like there is a great Madonna album in there. It just didn't fully come out, like
right.
because of all the production choices and just like the chaotic mess of the
Mhm.
process of making that album. But there is a good album in there
Yeah.
somewhere through the mess.
And Living for Love, I mean, look, I gotta give it its flowers. I do love that song, both that and the remix that she would perform too.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
liked it too. I
Hmm.
liked it too.
Yeah, so let's get into like the track by track.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so it starts with I Feel So Free, which is to me or to everyone, it's the future lover's sister. And obviously this was the first song that she decided to launch. And
Yeah.
a lot of people were kind of like mad about it, but to me, I liked it because it kind of reminded me of what Beyonce did with Break My Soul. When she released Break My Soul, I was like, okay, this is kind of like very middling. It didn't seem to make sense. It didn't feel like it was like getting me to jump off my seat here.
Right.
But then when Renaissance came out, I'm like, aha, there's a sequence to it. It
Yeah.
has to fit in. And then of course, she brought in the Madonna Vogue part of it too, which also elevated it. And I think when I look at I Feel So Free, it's like, yeah, this is this is kind of like this reminder of how she did in Confessions tour, the way she opened
Yes,
that
exactly.
Future Lovers with the Donna Summer, I Feel Love, and I Feel So Free is a great way to like, kick things out. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that particular song?
Yeah, like it's interesting because when it first came out, like me too, I liked it. I don't know if I loved it, but I liked it. But now, honestly, it's become one of my favorite Madonna
Hmm.
songs. Honestly, I
Hmm.
listened to it on Mushrooms a couple of weekends ago, and I'm telling you, and I listened to it on an incredible sound system, and I felt like I was like inside the song. Like there are layers upon layers upon
Hmm.
layers in this
Hmm.
song. And, when she, especially towards the end, like when she sings, I feel so free, like it
Hmm.
transports me.
Hmm.
Like it lifts me. It
Hmm.
takes me somewhere. I think this is one of her best songs
Hmm.
ever. Honestly, I'm
Hmm.
obsessed with it, and I just keep loving it more and more and
Hmm.
more. And there's, I don't know how many, like, if people will even know what I'm talking about, but um, there is this little sound effect. It only happens once, like in the middle of the song, that sounds like an 80s cartoon when like a
Hmm.
cartoon character would like whip out a magical sword and it kind of makes this like magical chime. There is just a little sound of that in the middle of the song that I don't know if
Hmm.
people are picking up on, but just that little detail makes me so happy. Like
Hmm.
the level of detail that is going on in the production on I Feel So Free is truly next level. Like this song feels like its own universe.
It does, and I love it as the introduction. And when we get to the next song, "Good for the Soul," I feel like this is like this long, extended introduction that continues to build up.
Yes.
So, and at first I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I mean, when I saw it on the Confessions 2 short film, I was like, "Oh, okay, this seems like it's a weak spot," But then I'm like, the more I listen to it, the more it's like, okay, this is like an extension of I Feel So Free. Like this is still the introduction, the way I
Yeah,
saw it as, and
I agree with
it's
that.
growing on me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really love that line of like it's good for the soul, so let down your hair and breathe in the air. Like it's so simple, but it becomes a mantra. Like
Mm,
I went to this that Madonna dance party that I mentioned before, and at the beginning of the party they played the full album. And that line it really does become a dance floor mantra.
hmm.
It's like it's that idea of like letting down your hair and breathing in the air is to feel so free. It's
Hmm.
all about, and that's what's you're so right about it being a continuation of the opening because I feel like I Feel So Free combined with Good for the Soul. It's she's inviting you to open up. She's inviting you to let go of the things that are stressing you, to shed all of those things and allow yourself to be in the moment, allow yourself to be free and let loose on the dance floor. Like that's the invitation that she's giving us.
Hmm. And One Step Away, I'm in love with this song a
Me
lot.
too.
Yeah, and I love the video that she did for that as part of the short film, and it harkens back to the what feels like for a girl, the car crash, and
Yeah.
it's got this whole dramatic cinematic vibe to it. It's like it's a thriller. It's like something that's part of a movie, and One Step Away is just such a, I don't know. It just, like, again, it feels, it's like it's hitting closer to the climax in a way. It's like, okay, it's getting to that part where you're like anticipating what's next.
Yeah.
And I love what's one step closer is just away. I'm just like really, really in love with that song.
There is an amazing buildup happening here.
Hmm.
And I'm not a DJ, but I do make amazing playlists.
Hmm.
And, when I make my playlists, especially for like a mushroom trip, like the flow obviously is so important. And the buildup, you gotta create a kind of tension so that you can have this moment of explosion, which I don't want to jump ahead, but I do feel like that moment is Danceteria. Like I feel like these first four songs are really like obviously they're each their own amazing experience, but like we're building up towards like this orgasmic dance floor moment.
Mm. And then it goes into Bring Your Love. I know when it came out, you weren't too hot about that song. It felt like it was kind of like hopping on the Sabrina Carpenter bandwagon.
Yeah.
I kind of saw a little bit more differently at that time, and I still enjoy the song very much. I think it's it's kind of like a remind to me. I felt like it was a reminder to the younger generations, like, yeah, this is who I am, this is who I've
Hmm.
been. And I think that I'm seeing more Gen Z folks starting to really tune in. I mean, there's some younger folks that I, t tuned this album to, and they were like, wow, this is really impressive.
Yeah.
And it makes me very proud to finally see that, because I'm like, okay, this is exactly what we have been clamoring, or what we've been
Yeah,
yelling out from the
exactly.
rooftop for a long time. Because
Yeah,
I know
because
that, yeah,
there's a whole generation that only knows MDNA, Rebel Heart, and Madam X, and they don't even
yes,
necessarily know those albums. You know what I mean? Because no one really cared about those albums. Like
no,
it didn't even reach them. So like
no,
they just don't know. But it's
no,
okay,
it's okay.
like they're
They're
the ones
learning.
missing out. But
This is an opportunity for them to learn now. It's like, okay,
yeah,
now you got
it
this
really
album.
is.
Okay, I hope that you are now curious to go back into the pre-2005 era,
Yeah,
and
and I
really
do think
learn
there's
about the
something
history. Yeah.
really badass about like a 67-year-old woman who's just made like one of the best albums of the year
Oh yeah.
that is like universally appealing. Like this has gotten some of the best reviews of her entire career. It's like
Hmm.
rave reviews across the board,
Yeah.
even a rave review from Pitchfork. Like,
Oh yeah.
this album is fucking legit.
Yeah.
And Bring Your Love has really grown on me. I didn't
Hmm.
really like it at first. I mean, I liked it, but I just thought it was very basic. I
Hmm.
still think it's basic. Like it kind of reminds me of like, even though I really do adore the first album, the first Madonna album, that's
Hmm.
one of my favorite albums.
Hmm.
But there's a simplicity in the first album that is very effective. And I do actually think that applies to Bring Your Love. Like it is simple and straightforward, but it works, And
Hmm.
I got to admit, like when it comes on, like I'm here for it now. And I think
Yeah.
the video also helped. Like when I saw the short film, that
Hmm.
Bring Your Love section was so well done
Hmm.
that it made the song come to life for me.
Yeah. And of course, we gotta talk about Danceteria. I mean, it's like Vogue Part Two meeting hung up. I mean, Summer Anthem, anyone? I mean, I fucking love that song to death. I cannot get enough of
This is
Danceteria.
her
Oh,
catchiest song in I don't even know how long.
I'd say since Vogue, because I mean that rap part is like, I mean, it just catches on, and when she said
Yeah,
Debbie Mazar, yeah, when she name
this
checks
song
me
is
as
a
Debbie Mazar, yeah.
masterpiece.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, 110%. I mean, this is the thing that will get younger people on the dance club and to get people like us geriatrics to be like on the dance floor because like I was trying to do a dance challenge to it and I'm like, God, I'm like really out of shape. I really shouldn't be doing this, but this is what I'm feeling, you know. But I mean, Danceteria is such. I mean, I love the title of it because it is an homage to the old Danceteria nightclub in the 80s, and this is kind of like where her roots really took place with that CBGBs, and she kind of really brings this introduction of what the New York scene was like back in the 80s
Yeah.
when she dated Jean-Michel Basquiat, who was a well-known painter who died early, and going into Andy Warhol to Keith Haring. I mean, it goes into like this gay 80s vibe during right in the beginning of the AIDS crisis too, what that was also like. So
Yeah.
I think that there's something that's so historical and so sentimental, and I feel like it's such a New York banger, like tens
It
across the
really,
board.
oh my God, absolutely. Like this is the song. Like this is the hit, on the album. And, you know, like with the exception of like these last couple of years, like between the Celebration tour and
Mhm.
this album and like the writing of her biopic, like it's very rare that Madonna really talks that much about the past, like especially this in such a detailed way. Like I love that she's just telling this story of like her early 80s existence in New York. Like this song just has such an energy that it transports you back in time. Like it's
Mhm.
so powerful, but it's also just really fun. You know what I mean? Like this is a fun song. Like the delivery, all the name references to the people in her past and the
Mhm.
people of that scene. And
It's
it's
runway. It's
just,
runway. It's a runway music. It's like this is where drag
yeah.
drag drag artists are gonna be like up and running up the catwalk. Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, this is
It's just
exactly it.
it's so celebratory and it's the most perfect, beautiful, alive homage to that time period.
Yeah. Read My Lips. I know you had just mentioned you were crazy, but I actually really like that song. But I like the FIFA version. I think the FIFA version has more of a punch to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like this is I don't skip it when it comes on. But I just think it's probably the track that
Hmm.
I feel like of everything on this album, it's not really saying much, Like it's very classic Madonna in the sense of like, there's always been this recurring theme in her songs, this idea of like don't tell me what to do, shut up, leave me alone, let me do my thing.
Hmm.
This kind of feels classic Madonna in that
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
It's like the defiant Madonna that we all know and love.
Yeah, and
But
she.
I just
Mhm.
feel like musically and lyrically, I don't know, it just doesn't really do much for me. Again, I don't
Hmm.
dislike it,
Hmm.
but I don't love it either. I'm very kind of neutral about it.
Mm. Because it goes into her continuing tradition of infusing her love of Latin music and culture, and like this like feed. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but like he's a Colombian artist, and I think she got it right this time with another Colombian artist. This unlike Maluma.
Yeah, I agree. Like this definitely feels like a step up from the Madam X crap.
Yes, and this is actually a more upgraded version of Bitch I'm Loca. So that was a song that
Yeah.
she did with Maluma as well, too, on top of Medellin.
Yeah,
So
this is definitely better than
oh
that.
yes. Yeah, and everything the song Everything is like an EDM festival. The song that we
Hmm.
just hear, but it's also like the word when she says everything is crystallized, and it's got this intense and pulsating beat. I'm like, okay, this is a weird song for me, but I'm like, I think I'm gonna really like this one. And her yelling into the mic is like, okay, I like this primal rage that I need
Yeah.
from her. And so yeah, I'm like, okay, I really am buying this. I'm buying into this, you know.
Yeah, this one is like slowly growing on me. Like I would say kind of similarly to Read My Lips, like I like it and but it doesn't stick with me, you know what I mean? So for example, like when I heard it first at the listening party and then at the dance party that I went to, like it's like when it comes on, I enjoy it, but
Hmm.
then I really forget about it. Like I don't think it's the most memorable.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that one will continue to grow on me. I think there's a lot going on in it, so that's exciting. But right now, like it's not the one that like I would like go to play.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think this is one of those. It's kind of like similar to the Renaissance album. It's like, look, I like if I'm gonna listen to everything or like Good for the Soul, I'd have to listen to the entire album because because I'd have to because it makes sense for me to listen to it that way.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But I
yeah.
feel like, for so obviously there's the 16 track version of the
Hmm.
album, and then there's the 12 track
Hmm.
version of the album. And basically for the 12 track version, she just cut like the last few songs, the
Hmm.
like the slower ones. But
Yeah.
I think that for the 12 track album, like I would have cut Read My Lips and everything. Like I think to go from like the euphoria of Danceteria and the excitement of Danceteria and go into continue that party with Love Sensation, like that makes more sense to me.
That's a
Like
good
to go
point.
from
Yeah.
Danceteria to Read My Lips, like that's like it feels like a step down, you
Hmm.
know?
It kind of lowers
Whereas
the
like
volume a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
I could see that.
exactly. But I feel like going from Danceteria to Love Sensation would really pop off.
Mm, like what I think one thing I forgot about was that she added like there's like a very exclusive one I think to iTunes where she included the song Hot Sauce, which I think is a god awful. Like it really does
Me
not
too.
need
We're
to.
back in birthday
Ooh.
song territory.
More like Spanish lessons territory, which I think someone brought that up, like about Read My Lips. It's like this is what Spanish lessons couldn't be, and I'm like, I completely forgot about that song because I hated that song that I completely forgot that it even existed. I'm like, oh my God, that is the most cringiest ass song. Birthday song, birthday song. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's very catchy, and also because I did like MIA back in the
But see,
day, and it's like, but
I like
yeah,
Spanish lesson more than birthday song.
really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me
Oof.
wrong. I agree with you. Spanish lesson is
Like, look,
horrific, but
it's
it's oddly contagious, I find. It's
yeah.
oddly catchy.
It's a good beat though. I mean, it's got that Pharrell, it's got that
Yeah,
Pharrell beat that I've always been a fan of, like growing up. So I'm like, I don't hate the beat
maybe it
to
would be
it.
better as an instrumental.
Yeah, let's keep it as instrumental. But I'm like, but Hot Sauce, I was like, wow, what an
I
atrocious.
couldn't even listen to it the whole way through,
When
honestly.
she brought it hung up, I'm like, please, like, really, you're gonna bring that song to this mess? I'm pretty sure like ABBA, like the members of ABBA were like, no, please do not put this in the album at all.
Yeah.
You already had it with hung up. We already gave you that gift. please do not try to push that into this garbage. But that was a hot mess. I'm so glad that most that it's left off of like the vinyl and
Yeah,
like I
let's
think,
pretend it didn't
oh
happen.
yeah, let's and then I feel like that should never have been
Also, the
released.
lyrics are just so dumb. Like,
It is a stupid title on top of it. It's like, wow.
yeah.
It's a dumb title and like yeah, so I'm so glad that that is not part of the lexicon. I mean, if she ever tries to put that on tour, this is kind of where my bathroom break is going to happen. So like, you
Knowing
know,
her,
no.
she would put this on the tour. She always loves to
She does,
perform the songs that the fans hate.
I
Like
know.
she loves
Candy
performing
Shop.
Candy Shop, and
She
she
does a great
performed
job.
Spanish. But
She
she
does a great
performed
job.
Spanish lesson
I know.
on the Sick and Sweet tour as well. Like she, I don't know, what's she's just so contrarian. She's a
I know.
brat. She's a brat.
I know.
Always has been, always will be, and that's why we
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, like she literally played the entire Madame X album against our will, at the
Yeah,
tour. I mean,
exactly.
especially when it was past midnight and the fact that, we had our phone in a yonder case. So like we were
Yeah.
really having to suffer through a lot of it. Like I know a lot of people are gonna come after me. It's very artistic. I think that there are things I
I
do
know, I
like
was
certain
surprised at
moments.
how many Madam X defenders there were. I was really surprised. Like they
I
came
know.
for me, they came for
Oh,
me
I know.
hard.
Oh, I know they
But
do.
but I'm just like, okay, I mean like obviously I'm all for everyone having their own taste. I don't ever expect
Yeah.
anyone to share my opinions,
No,
but
of course.
I think that from like a musicology perspective, Madam X objectively is a pretty terrible album.
Yes.
Like sorry to say,
I have not
but
listened to that album. I have not listened to that album or Rebel Heart. I mean, those are albums that I have actually actively avoided. I just don't feel anything with it. At least MDNA, I can listen to Beautiful Killer, which really should does not have really does not deserve the bonus track treatment because I
yeah, I know it's better
freaking
than
love that
most of that.
song. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah, and Free is a really beautiful ballad,
Yeah, no,
It
there's
makes no
yeah.
sense. Oh yeah. Next one, Love Sensation. I mean, she released that before the official release, and I've been addicted to this song. It's like giving
I
the Daft
really
Punk.
love it.
Yeah, it's giving the Daft Punk, the music's no good without you. It's like, wow, this is
Yeah.
such a really transcendent, going absolutely bonkers to the song, just being completely like on edibles or whatever
Yeah.
substance,
Oh my
that,
God, it is
yeah,
so euphoric. This is the song that Kylie has to jump on for the remix.
I, yes, that is such a Kylie vibe to it too.
Yeah.
Like it would make a lot of sense for her to get into that song.
Yeah. I do think the lyrics are a little bit dumb,
Of
but
course.
the melody and the music and the production are so good that it really doesn't matter. But
Mhm.
it reminds me, do you know who Nadia Ginsburg is?
I don't think I know her.
So Nadia Ginsburg is this genius actress and comedian and performer, and she used to do these hilarious Madonna parody videos. Like she does an amazing Madonna impersonation.
Mm.
And she did this video once where it's like Madonna in the studio, and it's just Madonna up to the microphone, just being like, "Yeah,
Wow.
yeah." And I feel like this song just reminds you of that so much, like, because literally on this song, she's just like, all those times that she just says, "Yeah." It's just so Madonna, you
Oh
know?
my God. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Love Sensation. I mean, I'm so glad that she had released it ahead of time because it gave me something to really look forward to. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
I'm gonna
was
be able to listen to this.
underwhelmed when it first came out, though. Like,
Hmm.
I liked it, but it didn't really I didn't really connect with it that much. But it again has also really grown on me. And
Hmm.
at the dance party that I was at on Friday, like this one really blew the lid off, honestly. Like
Mm, hmm.
everyone was jumping up and down. Like this one is a major one.
Mm. Love Without Words. I
This is one
am
of
a
my
person.
big
Mm.
favorites.
Yeah, that
All the
piano sound.
little
That little
oh
piano
yeah.
sound,
Oh my
because like
God.
early 90s house music, I'm like, I love a good piano sound in
It's
dance music.
so good. This one is orgasmic, honestly.
Yes.
Like there is a crescendo and build up that happens in this song, and like the explosion is phenomenal. Like this is a dance floor anthem. This is pure psychedelic euphoria. This is next level, this song. This is why Madonna is queen of the dance floor. Like no
Mhm.
one understands the power of dance music the way that this woman does.
Yes, and I think that is so true to her roots, and
Yes, this
also,
feels like her.
Mhm,
This is the whole, and someone in my comments made a really great observation,
mhm,
and they said that it's really a shame that she used the title MDNA for the MDNA album because this album
mm,
should be called MDNA because all of these
mhm,
sounds that are happening on this album, all of the themes, all the sort of emotional places that she's going to, like collectively, this
mhm,
album represents her DNA as an artist so completely, because if you look back on her discography, each album is a moment in time. Each album is its own thing. Like
mhm,
Erotica is its own thing.
mhm,
Ray of Light is its own thing. But because Confessions 2 is happening 40 years into her career, Confessions 2 draws a little bit on everything from those albums. Like she's bringing in elements of erotica, she's bringing in elements of
mhm,
bedtime stories in Ray of Light. So, like,
and
this is
music.
why
Mhm,
this album is the MDNA because it's the collection, it's like the summation of everything that's come before. And that's why this album feels so monumental because it's like
mhm,
everything she's learned and everything that she's done put all together and then blasted into the future.
mhm. So let's talk about Bizarre. Everyone's been talking about that song with Martin Garrix, and I mean, to me, I like it. But it also feels very mainstream, typical EDM.
Mm.
I wasn't wowed by it, but I mean, people do love that song, and I think it's probably because of the Martin Garrix name feature on it. But also,
I
like,
never even knew who he was
I
before
didn't really
this.
know
I still don't
much.
know.
Yeah, I still don't know, as Mariah Carey would say it. But it is interesting that the lyrics was kind of like, in a way, kind of like well, she didn't name him, but like Sean Penn.
I
I thought that
know.
was very interesting because I'm like,
Me too.
she hadn't talked about Sean Penn since like the Like a Prayer album, but also like she did have a little fling with him like 10 years ago during Rebel Heart, which was very head scratching, but she
Well, we don't know for sure,
they
but
haven't
they,
talked
yeah,
since, though. They haven't been hanging out since then.
no,
So
no.
that something did happen. So,
Yeah, this song reminds me a lot of Sorry from Confessions 1,
Mm,
which I know Sorry is a Madonna classic, but I have to
yeah.
admit, not one of my favorites.
No, it isn't. I love the videos. I love the
Yeah, the
video
video's great.
and I love the tour behind it. I think that,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I actually really like this one. I wouldn't necessarily say love.
Hmm.
I wouldn't put it in my top five of the album,
Hmm.
but I think the production is really sophisticated. Um, I think I think it's really solid.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this is one of those songs that I think will get a lot of traction. I mean, you play it at an EDM
Hmm.
festival. I mean, I'm too old for that shit. I mean, I know people say, "Well, you're never too old for this." Well, no, I really am. I cannot stay up past 11, doing this. But I do think that people would really be into it. I think it does. It definitely has that grasp,
Yeah,
and we've
I
seen
love the
people.
beginning of it. I love the
Mhm.
opening.
Oh yeah. But you know what's also bizarre? The song School. And I love that. And I think it's her
Oh,
most adventurous
School.
song. It's her most
Oh,
adventurous song on this album. I was like, wow, this is something that God Control couldn't be, It tried. But School, I felt like, was pulled out successfully. It was the kind of weird
yeah.
Madonna song that's like, wow, I've never heard this. I don't know what to make of it, but I am on this wagon for this one. And I really
Yeah,
do like it.
I totally agree. I'm probably like God Control maybe a bit more than you.
Mhm, mhm,
I don't think it's flawless, but I
mhm,
think like it was I actually but you're right. Like every good Madonna, well, every almost every Madonna album has this moment.
mhm,
At least since Ray of Light.
mhm.
Like on Ray of Light, I would say that was like either Skin or Shanti, like the sort of like
Hmm.
really balls to the wall, kooky,
Hmm.
like experimental, bizarre song on
Hmm.
music that was Impressive Instant, which is one of
Yes.
my big
Oh,
favorites.
yes.
On American Life, I think it was Nobody Knows Me.
Hmm.
And now we have School that sort of sits alongside that pantheon of weird Madonna songs,
Hmm.
and this is one of the best ones. This song is bananas. This one
Hmm.
is like this one will fuck with your brain. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there's a darkness in it, you know?
It
Like there's
is.
something sinister about it. There's a dark energy in this song, which is like dark energy is a part of Madonna's DNA. Like
Yeah.
that's a part of who she is. It's like,
I mean,
There's like the
she
part of
wore that to the
Madonna
Met
that's
Gala.
like, yeah, exactly. Like I think Madonna is like part of her is really a romantic, and then part of her is a brat, and then part of her is this like dark goth girl,
Mm-hmm.
secret goth girl.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of love for school. I mean, I do think this is like a hidden gem in this album.
Yeah.
Fragile. I definitely want to talk about this one because it is about her late brother Christopher, but also what we also have to point out is that she also lost her brother Anthony, her older brother Anthony, like not long
Hmm.
before that. So I think that obviously I don't think it's exclusive to just Christopher, but maybe also Anthony to some level. But I know that she was closest to Christopher publicly for a long time, was her dancer, was a creative director, was her confidant. I mean, up until, she married Guy Ritchie and things fell apart
Yeah.
pretty quickly. And then, he wrote his own tell-all book, which, you could tell that there was a lot of hurt and pain, and they weren't talking for years. And then, he was dying of pancreatic cancer. And, I think that kind of like allowed them to mend this deep wound, but also appreciate the kind of bondness that they had because like I mean, Christopher was very instrumental in like the Blonde Ambition and the Girly Show tours, which were iconic tours.
Yeah. No,
And
he's
yeah,
a big part of those of some of her most iconic
Lucky
work,
Star, even
I
though
mean, she dedicated the Immaculate Collection to him. Like that's a
hmm
testament to how important he was to her artistry.
yeah.
And I mean, I read that book like probably all of us.
Mhm.
Still
I
remember
listened to the
the
audio. I listened
I
to the
remember the day
audiobook.
that I bought it, and
Oh
I
my God.
literally stayed up all night. I could not put it down.
Wow.
I read it all in one night. It really changed how I looked at her.
hmm
Um, and it's not to say that like, I mean, obviously he doesn't really talk that much about the things that he did to hurt her. Like,
Yeah.
obviously all relationships are a two-way street, but
hmm
at the same time, like that's his truth.
hmm
Like those things that he wrote about are the experiences that he had with her. Like, she is a really difficult person.
hmm
And I think both of them it's not surprising. I think we spoke about this before,
hmm
maybe. But it's similar to Barbara Streisand, who lost her father really young, and her mother was very emotionally unavailable. And it's like
hmm
for people who grow up in homes that are not nurturing,
hmm
you don't really learn how to love, you
Yes.
know? And
Yes.
you can't expect that kind of warmth and nurturing from someone who doesn't know how to give it. And I think for a long time, Madonna hasn't known how to give it. And I'm talking like I know her, but I do know her.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, and that's why this song, I have to admit, was the song that I was the most excited for.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hear how she felt about their relationship. And
hmm
um,
hmm
this song is, along with LES Girl, this is
hmm
my favorite.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
song made me cry. Like the line,
hmm
we have the same eyes, like literally makes me cry. That line is
hmm
so beautiful. That's one of the
Yeah.
most beautiful lyrics she's ever written. It says so much.
hmm
It's just it's so heartbreaking.
It
But
is. Yeah.
one thing that I will say, my only critique of this song,
hmm
because I do think it's a masterpiece. I think it's one of her most
hmm
beautiful emotional
hmm
songs ever. But I don't like that line about the nervous breakdown. Like that kind of takes me
hmm
out of it a little bit because
hmm
it feels like it doesn't feel poetic. Like that
hmm
line, you had a nervous breakdown, just
Just a little
it doesn't
oversharing there. A
it's a little
little
oversharing and it
oversharing. Yeah.
doesn't fit in the song. And what's really interesting is that someone on the Madonna subreddit, who was really good friends with Christopher, shared this post where like he had kind of mixed feelings about this song because he's like, he was communicating with Chris up until the last days, and he was like, Chris was not a fragile person. Like
Hmm.
Chris was someone who was really, really strong.
Oh, you could
And
tell. Yeah.
and he also said that like Christopher didn't have a nervous breakdown.
Hmm.
So like I don't know if Madonna was just trying to rhyme or maybe that's how she sees her brother because it's the only way she can make sense of like what he did to her. I don't know,
Hmm.
but all to say is that like any
Hmm.
sort of like familial relationships, like there's so much complexity in their relationship. Um, and this song is really a beautiful like testament to that relationship.
It really is. And you know what? Like, I was very emotional to the song. I don't think I've been emotional to a Madonna song.
It's
Like,
been so
it's
long. I haven't been
been a
emotional
while.
to a Madonna song since Ecstatic Process on
Yeah.
American Life.
Yeah, and American Life felt like was a deeply personal album. But yeah, like I was listening to Fragile. Like I had lost my brother a year and a half ago, and we had a very fraught
Mm,
relationship. We both, I mean, there's a lot of love, but there's a lot of complexities. It's like one of those things where I feel like I know him the best and know him the least because I felt like there's
yeah,
different lives, and we had a very challenging relationship. And up until the final month of his passing, like we were like trying to in some ways reconcile with the complexities. And yeah, I like her, like we didn't grow up in a house like full of like open love, like we did
right,
not know how to love. And I think that it caused this big rift. And so listening to Fragile felt like it really hit me because certain lyrics of that song really like was gut wrenching. And it's like, wow, it's like if there's a tribute to my own brother, it's really this song. And I couldn't
yeah,
have thought about it. I mean, I listened to MLBC podcast, and I mean, they were all crying to that, talking about
right.
Fragile. I was like, wow, it definitely had an effect on people, but it definitely had an effect on me listening to it. I was like, wow, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, gut-wrenching is the perfect word, and I'm really sorry for your
Mm,
loss.
thank you.
And I think also like the last thing I'll say about Fragile is just like her vocals on this are
Hmm.
amazing.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
she's singing in this higher register that sounds almost like heavenly.
Hmm.
Like it's like very ethereal and it feels like through her voice she's making this connection to the other side. Like I just love that she's doing things with her voice that contribute to the narrative. Like
Hmm.
I just feel her putting her heart and soul into this.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one that's going to like really stand out for a long time, like when it's all
Yes.
said and done. My
Yeah,
sins are
yeah,
my
this
sin.
is
Yeah,
oh yeah, Fragile is it for me automatically in like her top 25 best songs
yeah.
ever.
Oh yes. My sins are my savior with Stromae. It kind of sounds like the stamp of Tom's Diner when I was listening to it. I was like, wow, this is kind of like a really cool song. It's got a little bit of that Rescue Me vibe to it, and
Yeah,
which,
and like the
yeah.
horns. This
Oh
this this
yes.
this is the sexy song,
It
you
is a
know?
fun song. I really, really enjoy this one.
This is erotica. This is
Yes.
erotica.
Oh yes, this is harkening back to that era of the early 90s. I'm like, yeah, this
Like
is
there's
the
elements of it that
Candido.
remind me of
Candido.
uh what's the Where Life Begins.
Yes, yes. I was, oh
This
my
is
God, yes, exactly. Because I couldn't name the song off the top of my head. I was like, why does this sound so familiar? Like, Where Life Begins is my favorite part. Where Life Begins, like Colonel Sanders said it best. Because I was always cracking up so much every time I hear that. I'm like, wow, like who could have pulled that off to that song, you know, and make it
Yeah.
sound very horny to make, going to Kentucky Fried Chicken kind of a sexy thing,
Yeah, exactly. But what I love about this song, like this song feels kind of like a transition. It's like Fragile is sort of the end of the rave,
Yes.
and My Sins Are My Savior is the beginning of the
Hmm.
come down, you
Yes,
know? And
yes, yes.
like when I do my little mushroom trips with my friends, like we always have like a rave part of that
Uh-huh.
journey. And then once the rave is over, it's like you kind of transition into music that feels like a bit more sensual and warm. Like you're coming
Hmm.
off of like, because techno and electronic can be a little bit cold
Yes.
sometimes.
Hmm.
And you want to feel that warmth after the cold. And this is that warmth. And
Hmm.
again, this is why you have to listen to this album from beginning to end. Like the flow is so fucking good and smart and like it's just so true to like the dance floor rave experience that like I love that on this album she's even included the come down from the rave. You know,
Yes.
it's not just this album is not just a rave. It's like you're getting the come down as well.
You're getting the closing of the bar, closing of the club, and
Yes.
walking in like it's already like the sun is about to rise, and you're just like having a hangover, and you're in a very reflective, introspective place. Like when I was like, I feel like
Yes.
I'm looking back, on this little journey that I was just
Yeah.
on, and
And
that's
maybe
what I
my
liked
sins
about
are
it.
my savior is like when you leave the club and go home with someone
Yes.
and have a little intimate moment.
Hmm.
And then by the time you get to LES Girl, it's like you're walking home, you have your headphones on, and you're thinking
Yes.
about your whole life.
Oh, yes. And what a way to go do that. Betrayal, it's also like very similar to like the erotica vibe, but it's also about her stepmother, Joan Ciccone.
Yeah.
And I always knew that she had talked about her own very complicated relationship with Joan. I mean, I think in some ways people have said that Joan tried to do her best to be, um, not necessarily a replacement figure, but to at least give her some guidance. But, for Madonna, she's got main character syndrome,
Big
and
time. I mean, if
she's a
she's the
Leo.
definition.
She's a
She's the
Leo.
definition. She's
She's
the
a Leo.
epitome of Leo.
Yes.
When you think Leo, if people don't understand or know anything about astrology, if you want to know what a Leo is, Madonna. That's the
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah, Whitney Houston, I mean, you got some pretty big
Whitney
characters
was a
in.
Leo too?
Yes, uh-huh. And J-Lo.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, okay, all right, well that really hits. I mean, that explains a lot of things. Um,
But I feel like this is what's interesting about this album, or one of the things, is that like, for the really hardcore fans,
mhm,
we know who Christopher is. We
yes.
know who Joan is.
Hmm.
We know who all those people on Danceteria are.
Hmm.
And it's just crazy to hear her making songs about these people that have been part of her mythology for so long, but that she doesn't
Hmm.
really speak about that much, especially
Hmm.
not in these recent years. So,
Right.
like, that's fucking cool. Even
Yeah.
just from like a gossipy point of view where like you want the tea, like she's giving us that?
Yes. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I was also like, wow, this is really interesting to finally talk about her recently passed stepmom. And I
But I
also,
feel like she probably wrote this song a while ago because
yeah.
this is the song that Mirwais has a co-write on. So
Mm,
like I feel like this one was sitting around. I feel like these are things that she's been wanting to say about Joan for a long time, but she
yeah.
like
And
waited for
maybe for the
Joan to
biopic.
pass.
And maybe
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
bio
maybe
and
for
maybe
the
for the
biopic,
biopic too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder how her father, I mean, I know her father is like really, really up there, obviously. And I wonder if, I'm curious about like her thoughts about her father in this record, but I think she kind of leaves the be for now.
Yeah.
And so the test with her daughter Lola. So it's kind of like Girl growing up as an adult. And Lola, believe it or not, is about 30 years old in this
I know she's
part.
going to be 30 this year. I was thinking
It's
about
hard.
that yesterday. It's crazy. I remember when she was born, I was like
I do
9 years
remember when she was
old.
pregnant. I remember when Madonna was pregnant and everyone made such a big deal about it. I
It
remember.
was a huge deal.
Yes, it
People don't
was.
understand. Like, you can't even understand how big of a deal it
It
was.
was. Oh, it was. It's like it was just like we were trying to figure out
It
who
was
the
like
father
Mary
was.
giving birth to Jesus, honestly. Like, it was on that level. Except
Yeah.
it turns out Lola's not Jesus. She's more satanic. But
Oh, clearly. Oh, clearly. In a fun way too. I've always wanted to see her tour because I know it's like, what, she's really interesting. I definitely would love to see her solo show, not only because she's Madonna's daughter, but only I think that there's
I don't
something
know. I mean,
about.
I've seen videos of her performing live and like
Uh-huh.
it's really not to be mean. I I don't I would like to say it as constructively as I can, but like she doesn't have it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, you can't live up to your
live
mom.
performance, like you can't fake that? Like
No,
it's an
no.
energy that you're born with or you're not. And
Hmm. Hmm.
I just don't she's just too lifeless? Like even in that TikTok interview that they did with
Yeah.
Bob the Drag Queen,
Mm.
like Lola sounds like a really depressed like 45-year-old. Like
Yeah.
she speaks in such a monotone voice. She sounds so bored all the
Hmm.
time.
Yeah, she
Like,
does.
girl, Wake up a little bit.
I know. So that's what happens when you're a Nepo baby. I
I
mean,
think
it's
so.
like
Like,
you're kind of bored.
yeah, and I think that like again, this is just me putting my like
Mhm.
armchair psychology hat on and like please take it with a grain of salt. Trust me, I'm not taking myself seriously. But um like one of the most it was just a small detail in that Bob the Drag Queen interview, but like Bob was talking about Madonna's mom, who as we all know
hmm
passed away when Madonna was only like 5, 6 years old.
hmm
And then he asks Lola a question, but he phrases it kind of weirdly because he's talking about Madonna losing her mom so young, and he's
hmm
like, "But you didn't lose your mom so young." And then Lola was like, "Thank God." And she like literally says to Madonna, like, "Don't you," basically something along the lines of like, "Don't ever die," you know? And I
mm
feel like Lola and a lot of these Nepo babies who just
hmm
grow up, with every advantage and privilege imaginable, like
hmm
I feel like they never really grow up. They don't know how to take
No.
care of themselves. And I'm sure that for Lola, the idea of her mom eventually passing is just like she will not know how to exist,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
she's never learned. I don't think that at least my read is that like she doesn't know how to take care of herself. Like she feels very
hmm
lost to me. Like when I hear her
no.
speak, and even on this song, like I feel like she's really, really trying to find her place. And
Hmm
I can't even imagine how hard. Like again, despite
hmm
all the like material privileges, like
hmm
from an emotional point of view, to grow up with someone like Madonna as your mom, like
hmm
that's really fucking insane.
it really is. I mean, at least I think with Rocco, like I think he's really into his art, and I think that
Yeah, I feel like Rocco did kind of find himself. Like he feels more
Mhm.
solid.
Yeah, yeah. I think also because Madonna. I mean, Lola is a woman. She was a firstborn, and you know, and her father Carlos was kind of like, I mean, I know he was in the picture, but more privately. It just felt like she never really knew who she really was because I mean, you have this behemoth of your mom who like
Yeah.
overshadows everything, and you're trying to have your own identity and trying to
Yeah,
separate yourself, and that is nearly impossible. It's like you can't escape that.
exactly.
It's like when you look at kids who don't know who have struggled to have grown up. I mean, you look at the Will and Jada Smith's family. You look at Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina, and how
Oh my
tragically that
God.
ended. Like how when she passed, it's like, well, when Whitney passed, it's like, yeah, she just couldn't handle that
Yeah,
loss,
no, it was
and
so awful.
it
That's why
was.
I do when I first heard the preview of the song, I didn't really like it,
Mm,
but I actually really like it. I think
I
it's
do too.
like one of the most interesting songs on the album, like musically and lyrically, like there's a lot going on here. Um, and again, because of that mythology, like I just mentioned how like Madonna is like giving us, you know, she's sharing stories with us about
Hmm
Christopher, Joan, the
Yeah.
people from Danceteria. And now she's also sharing this moment with us, with her daughter, who
hmm
again, like when Madonna announced her pregnancy and Lola was born, it was like this major thing in
It's an
pop
event. Yeah.
culture? So like to have this song where the two of them are in conversation with each other is incredible.
Yeah. It's like Mirror Girl Part 2. And it's like it has a lot of Ray of Light Mirror Girl, the
It's
sound.
very Ray of Light.
And now it's like it's kind
I
of
think
like
you mean
really
Little
beautiful.
Star.
Yes. Oh, sorry, Mirror Girl. I don't know why I
Yeah.
said Mirror Girl, but Little Star. It's like it just
Even
has
when
this
Madonna refers to Lola as Little Star and
wow.
Butterfly, which she
Yeah.
did obviously on Ray of Light, this is like this is why this album is so powerful. It's
hmm
so detailed. And it feels like Madonna is really thinking.
hmm
She's really putting something together. She's
Reflection.
really
Yeah.
she's reflecting exactly, which again, as we said, like doesn't we've been missing that reflection.
Yes. Oh, we have. And the last closer is Lower East Side Girl. I know how much you love that song.
I
I
am obsessed with this song.
It's beautiful. It's got that ray of like guitar sound to it, which I
Yes.
really enjoyed. It's like the sun setting of this album. And in a way, I hate to say this, if this is somehow her last album, theoretically, God forbid, what a way to end it. It's like leaving the bar or like, it's like coming home, after a long night and just really sitting back and being like, wow, what has my life become in this, like the people that you've come across, you're in this age in your life now. And it's like to me, it's like what does she tell her 20-year-old self? And this idea
Yes.
that she's going to be okay. And I think that kind of like hits into my heartstrings because I'm like, wow, this is a woman who basically came in with no connections, no social media, just trying to figure out how to live. And it was the gay men in her life that took her in, and Martin Burgoyne gave her a chance to be in his band. And it's like, wow, it's like she's finally like really being able to reflect so deeply, because there was a time where Madonna just hates looking back in the past. She was
Yeah,
just very annoyed
exactly.
by that, and I'm like, I'm so glad that she can finally be like, no, I have to give it its flowers. I have to allow my 25-year-old self to be like, wow, this person was very scared. This person was
Yeah.
like going through horrible life traumatic situations. And I think it kind of harkens back to this whole particular period. And what a way for her to end that album in such a beautiful reminder about her legacy, but also like the appreciation and the fondness for her survival and resilience.
Yeah. That's so well said. This is the most like unexpected song. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
obviously we knew the album's called Confessions too, so we all knew it was gonna be like dance floor bangers.
And
I
confessional
could
stuff, yes.
But I could not have imagined a song like this. Like it's
Yes.
so stripped back. Her vocals are so beautiful on this song. Her vocals on this song, I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it
Hmm.
reminds me of it's a leaked demo from the music sessions.
Mm,
And it's with William Orbit. She did a cover of an ABBA song called Like an Angel Passing Through My Room.
mm.
Have you ever heard it?
I did not actually.
I highly,
Oh,
highly recommend
okay.
that you listen to it. Um, so this song reminds me a lot of the vibe of
Hmm.
like an angel passing through my room. Like it's just so simple and
Mm,
stripped down and like you said, like this song really just feels like her reconnecting with her 20-year-old self. Like it reminds me of like on the Celebration tour, you know
hmm.
how there was like that
Yes.
Madonna avatar with the mask
Yes.
on throughout the
Yes.
show. And in the first act of the show, you have this
Hmm.
moment where they're standing side by side, and the
Yes.
avatar is like dressed in what Madonna used to wear in those early 80 days. And like
Hmm.
this song feels like a product of that moment from the Celebration tour.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
like you said, it's like by ending the album, going all the way back to those early New York days, it's it makes the it completes the entire circle of her whole
Hmm.
career in this one simple song.
Indeed.
And it's so sublime and emotional to take in everything that she's done over these years. Like you said, starting from nothing, becoming the juggernaut that she is.
Hmm.
Like to a point that I think people will only fully understand, sadly, when the time comes,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know? But that despite all of this mega success, mega stardom, that she can still come back and bring it all back to just this simple,
Yes.
organic bearing of her heart.
Mm,
That is so fucking powerful. Because, like
mm,
you said, if this ends up being the last song of the last album of her career,
hmm.
to end on such a for a warrior to end on such a gentle note
Hmm.
is pure poetry.
It is. It is. And I'm just like, it's
It
just
gives me
like,
the
wow.
chills. Like
It does.
when I got home, like after the release party, because that last song I didn't really hear well in the store because I had to leave, catch the metro.
Hmm.
When I got home, like I listened to the album on my headphones, like from beginning to end. And when I got to LES Girl, I was floored. And then
Hmm.
I am not even kidding, I listened to it on a loop for an hour.
Oh, wow.
I just could not get enough of it. I'm like, I need this song in my veins, like,
Yeah.
because this feels like the real Madonna. This
Yeah.
is the real Madonna.
Wow.
That tenderness that exists underneath
Hmm.
the really harsh exterior.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. I don't think you've said it any better than I could have even thought of. And as we start to wrap up, why did Madonna and Guy Oseary block you? I'm now I'm curious because I know you gave a little
Sure.
open letter about that too. So
So
that.
Madonna blocked me around the Rebel Heart era.
Oh, wow.
Um, so she had posted this picture of a guy that was holding up a sign that said, "When will you fuckers learn?" And Madonna was just being very preachy, and it just really annoyed me that day
Mhm.
because I felt like, Madonna, for all like your talk, like you really don't actually do that much to help the world. But so I commented on the picture and I said, "Madonna, when the fuck will you learn?" And then she blocked me 2 seconds later.
Wow.
And I actually had no idea that Guy Oseary had blocked me. I found this out like a couple of days ago because someone sent me the post that he wrote about confessions. And I wasn't able to view it. And then when I tried to get to his profile, like it doesn't exist on my Instagram. So like I found out that he blocked me. I think the reason that he blocked me is because I don't know, sometime like this must have been like months ago. I commented on one of his posts and I basically like called him out for ruining her career and indoctrinating her into Zionism.
Hmm.
So I was kind of just like, fuck you for doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that comment is what got me blocked.
Yeah, and also thank God for Rosie O'Donnell because she does stand 10 toes down. I always like the fact that
Oh,
everyone needs a
Rosie
friend
is the
like her.
fucking real deal.
Yeah, you need a friend like her, but she's also pro-Palestine. So I'm always glad that I always feel like she's always going to be in her friends' ear, and she'll
Yes,
always
I
get
know.
them
I
the
feel
truth.
the same
And I
way.
love
I'm
that.
like, I
Everyone needs
know.
a friend like her. Everyone needs a friend
Abs
like her, and Madonna especially needs a friend like her in her corner.
Yeah,
Like you
because Guy
cannot get.
Oseary is fucking sinister. I'm telling you
Yeah,
guys,
he's
he's
a monster.
evil.
Yeah, he's a monster. And I saw that Freddie the Man interview, which I know you weren't wild about. I can't stand Billy Corrigan, but Billy Corrigan was kind of going on and on and on. And it's like, okay, well, why aren't you talking about the Truth or Dare scene when Freddie the Man was on there? I'm curious about their falling out. I would have paid to hear what really
Me
happened
too.
because I'm like, he did a lot of great things for her along with Michael Jackson. So it's like he got very like and Shakira. So it's
No,
like,
he was, I mean, come
oh
on. He was with
wow.
Madonna for the most important years. Like,
Jeez, I
he was
know.
with her from 83 to 97, like, or even
Hmm.
98. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Come
Hmm.
on.
Yeah, exactly. And but I'm really it's kind of wild to see, the cast of characters in her life and how they've responded to her work. And also, I know that you had started the Blank List podcast recently with your co-host, and I gotta say it's hilarious. I love it. I hope people
Thank
get
you
to
so
tune
much.
into it. I've gotten into it because I'm like, oh my God, you forgot about this. Oh, and you're bringing up topics that just had me laughing about what happened on 9/11. Like it took me a long time to confess that I actually got the Mariah Carey Glitter album that day. You
That's
know,
amazing. You're a hero.
it was amazing. Yes, as her song would say it was fantastic. And I hope that, this is a fun listen, and I hope that this is a rewarding listen to the casuals or the people who are just stepping into the Madonna water for the first time. And I hope it won't be the last because I
I'm
think that
so jealous actually of the new fans, like the young
I know.
kids who are discovering Madonna through this album, and now they get to go back and live through and experience the discography for the first time. Like, this is going to be her discography is going to be mind blowing to these kids who are
It
just
will.
discovering her. Like, they are in for an amazing ride.
It will. It will. And
It
also
will change their lives. It will change their lives,
it will. And it will. And she's still alive to tell that story. Thank God she's still
which is
alive.
why she has to win the Grammy Album of the
Album
Year.
of the
Like,
year. Exactly.
I'm starting that campaign next week.
Yes. And if I fucking see Taylor Swift's Showgirl album on the album of the year, I am gonna like really flip tables. I
Yeah,
know.
no,
Uh
tables will need to be flipped.
yeah, just even the thought of her being in the nomination category is just really appalling. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there, but I hope that people are starting to come down on it, especially at that stupid wedding she did with Travis.
Ugh, don't get me
Um,
started.
but anyways, what a what a fun time. I'm so glad that you're on. I cannot wait for the Confessions 2 tour. We'll probably have to talk about what songs do you
I
think she's
can't
gonna
wait for
do.
the hopefully remix album slash
That
like
too.
bonus track edition.
I want the eight
I know that's
songs.
coming.
I want the 8 songs, but please do not let anything be like hot sauce. Please do
Yeah.
not put those songs into the
No, we don't
universe.
need that.
All right. Well, you know what? Take good care. We're gonna talk again soon on this. For more to come.